Welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron,
I'm Ben.
and today we are very excited to be joined by Orlando Arocena. Orlando, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for coming
Hey,
on.
thank you
Also
so
known
much.
as Mexifunk. You are a very talented artist, world renowned. You've designed so many cover art, so many posters for films that I didn't even know I owned in my collection. I'm a huge fan. We can't wait to chat with you today. And I've got a few of your movies to show off some of your artwork. But why don't we get right into it? Ben, I'll turn it over to you for the first question.
Yeah. Um, I suppose the first question we'll ask is sort of when did you get into doing the movie posters? How old were you? How did it happen?
It happened as soon as I got spat out of my mother. No,
That's
no.
amazing.
I mean, I grew up in the Bronx in New York City during the late '70s, early '80s, and I really became enamored. I was a what they call kind of a lock turnkey child. I grew up on my own. I had my parents working and they're divorced, but I was really in love with just movies and television whenever movies would cross over to that format. And I wanted to study art, become an illustrator. So we saved up some money. I went for that. But my first job, my first employment was working with Lloyd Kaufman over at Troma Entertainment, Troma Studios for
Wow, that's amazing.
Terraforma, Toxic Avenger, Toxie 2. Yeah, seriously, and what I was doing there, my job there was to be an art director for Troma Tromaville, which was their online film
Yep.
consortium kind of thing, their destination online if you want to know everything about Troma, the films, and kind of behind the scenes. And I was creating it first started off doing VHS slipcovers and then gravitating towards this new fandangled format of physical media called discs and DVDs. So it was very interesting
Crazy,
because,
crazy
yeah,
talk.
no,
Yes.
very crazy talk. What is that? Jesus. I thought they were just like some crazy kind of disco ball that really didn't get formed right. But it wasn't until
And
about 2013, 2012, around there, around Iron
yeah.
Man 2, where I decided to do this kind of triptych of Iron Man, War Machine. I mean, Iron Patriot, and then War Machine, and the studios loved
Oh,
it. And
good. That's
from there
awesome.
on, I hooked up with the Poster Posse. I don't know if you know that crew, but they're out of Mer global entity of about 51 plus artists that tend to play with and collaborate with Hollywood. So from
Oh,
2012, I think that's when I really became an independent artist, just to focus on passions as a child. I mean,
yeah.
a lot of the brands that I get to play with are strictly from my childhood. Playing with Hasbro and doing packaging for GI Joe, or
Oh,
for the
nice.
Power. Doing a whole line. I did the whole 30th anniversary line for the Power Rangers last year.
Oh
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
so I
That's
love I
cool.
love bouncing in between. I did the 40th anniversary packaging art for the Knight Rider um, Hot Wheels car.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
so
amazing.
I love bouncing around and just file reinserting my legs into those old footprints that I had down there as a
Yeah,
kid,
yeah. And
playing with.
nostalgic too, right? And
I mean,
growing up in the 80s takes you back.
yeah, definitely, especially when they call you up and they're like, "Hey, we want you to do a sequential six-piece cover of the new Transformers that are coming out with, um, you know, in
I
comic
saw
book
that.
format
Yeah.
again." And I was like, okay, great. Let's play with that. So I'm one of those artists that I'm traditionally brought up from the advertising world, New York agencies and all that,
Mhm.
to I said, if I'm going to go independent, instead of me trying to shoot for the moon, let me try to just cross the street and meet the neighbor across the street and go, let's go for the mooning together. You know what I mean? Let's collaborate. And I love collaborating with
Yes.
studios and just all those brands that I knew as a kid, instead of like, hey, I want to do the next Nike. I mean, I don't mind, but I think my heart and my soul is more rooted in the things that would just make my jaw drop as a child and go, whoa, I got to collect that, or I got to
Yeah.
support that. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Well, there are a number of that's an amazing background there. There are a number of things that I want to talk with you about. But the first
Yeah.
thing I've got to mention is the Halloween project where you worked on, I think there were 19 different classic horror films where you redid all the
Ooh.
covers with a very Mexican flair. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because I think a number of our viewers will recognize some of the artwork. And I've got a few here, like Child's Play. I mean, that's fantastic. And Carrie, I mean, look at that. It's amazing. Living Dead, Return of the Living Dead, Tarman, Jeepers Creepers. And I've just got one more, which is
Great.
Killer Clowns. Unfortunately, I
Oh,
don't have the entire collection.
we got to get to the entire
But
collection, man.
if
We
you
got
can
to
help
get
me
to the
out,
entire
help
collection.
us out. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
no problem.
Um,
I'll
so I
try my
guess
best.
my
People are probably
question
rolling
is,
their eyes right now, going, "Oh, of course it's going to help them out, but it doesn't help me out." Sorry.
well, let's see. So I guess my question
I
is, what
can't
was it
even
like?
get them here.
You can't get those there.
Yeah, I bet you. I've never seen them actually, to be fair. So,
I'll
And
fly
it
them
comes
over.
with
Don't worry about it. I'll fly them over the
with
pond. It's okay.
that would be so cool. It comes with a coloring book, right? Um,
Yes, yes.
and you can see even more right there. I do have a question. So my question is, what was it like working on this project? It must have been a blast, and it seems to come through with your artwork that you really enjoyed it. So why don't we start there?
Oh, it was a total blast. It was a total blast. And it almost really didn't happen on a number of occasions. Um,
Mm,
First off, I was called up by the owner and executive creative director over at Neuron Syndicate, an agency that was collaborating with MGM Studios and 20th Century Fox. And they called me up 2 hours before I needed to be at the airport. So I was quickly packing, and this guy's like telling me about this opportunity and this, it's going to be about 35 titles wide, and and they really like my Dia de los Muertos art and also my word of mouth art. I was like in this kind of series in my time of just like putting titles where mouths are. And I thought it was kind of clever and kind of cheeky, but they were like, can we get like, I'll give you a title and can you just do me kind of a rough draft of what it could look like, that way it could have
mhm.
something for MGM and Fox to bite on. And I'm like, I was like, you're killing me. I can't, I'm packing up right now. I got to be I'm already late according to like, international
Yeah.
standards. I was flying to Europe. I mean, no, I was flying to San Francisco and then I had to go to Colombia soon after that. So I was like, man, I don't know if I could do that. And he was like, oh man, I mean, it would be great, but if you can't, then we're just gonna have to word of mouth the whole presentation, and hopefully they'll bite on it. As soon as I hung up, I was like, shit, oh man, fuck it. So um
Did you
I
cancel
whipped
your trip?
something up. No, no,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? I whipped up a very quick vector sketch for Black Swan. That was kind of the
Mm,
test. They're like, hey, Black Swan's going to be one
yes.
of them. So on my Behance, I totally have kind of like the behind the scenes to that, and what I sketched out. And it was really just really quick color fill-ins and like where I would put the title and what it would dress up. Yeah, that's the final,
There
you
you go.
know. Um,
Mhm.
but I left it as that, and he was like, "Wow, thank you so much. I'll be in contact." The next week, I was in San Francisco doing some Adobe Live stuff, and I get the
Mhm.
phone call from him like, "Listen, Murr, go." And I'm like, "Great." I was like, "That's awesome." And it was 35 titles long. I did the majority of it on the road. I had taken, I had fallen in love in Colombia, and I was like, you know what? Uh, Let me rent out an Airbnb for 3 months and sit down and enjoy Colombia, enjoy my new love, and then hack away at this 35 titles. In the middle of it, I bust my shoulder and I could barely move my whole arm, and I could only draw from my wrist up to my hand.
oh,
So
Oh wow.
mobility was just, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta hand in a status every week of like each of these titles. And I was really freaking shit in a pickle because I was like, oh my God, I'm doing this all in pain. I don't know if I could keep up with it. To make a long story short, we handed it off, and during the process, like even the studios were getting a little bit unnerved because they're like, hey, we don't know if this is going to be somewhat disrespectful for the Latino community that we're teaming up kind of this Dia de los Muertos traditional, iconic, cultural style with horror movies. And I would always just reinforce the fact you have an authentic Mexican American artist who embraces his culture and also embraces kind of the hybrid fusion of these two entities. I was like, you have nothing to worry about. They almost pulled the plug like 3 times,
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
and I just had to keep on reinforcing them and reinforcing them. And then finally we did it. And when they saw the first few numbers, I mean, I was baffled because I would have friends and family go out to like the retailers, whether it was Walmart, whether it was, you know,
Hmm.
uh, and they would just pose next to like the stanchions or the end
Are
aisles,
they all
and
together?
it would have my name on it. Yeah, those
It's
are
so cool to
we
see
ended
them
up
all.
we ended
So
up
you
going.
did 35 and then going with 19, I think.
Yeah, so imagine all those other titles that didn't make it.
Oh, wow. Do you think they ever
They're
will see the light of day?
they were done. I don't know. Something for me to
That'd
pick
be
up the
cool.
phone and go call up. You know, those studios have changed so much.
Mm,
MGM is now part of Amazon. 20th Century Fox is
yeah.
now part of Disney's 20th Studios. So it's interesting because after they released it first on just your regular plastic with the artwork tipping with the coloring book,
Like the Yeah,
interactive
and then it's
coloring
like
book.
an add-on sort of
Yeah.
to the with
After
so
that,
go for
they're like, holy shit, let's go with season 2 and let's put everything on metal. And
it. Mhm.
the rest is history. I got my first Gold Clio award in entertainment from that
Oh, cool.
project. And
Oh, wow.
instead of
Congratulations.
even thank you, instead of even touching it, I had the studios just ship it over to my mom. And I was like, here's what all that return on investment looks like. Here you go. And when she
Mhm.
got it, my sister filmed when she's opening up the packaging. And my mom's like, what the F is this? She's like, I so I guess somebody sent something to your brother, but he didn't get it. And my sister's like, no, silly. Like you
This is
deserve
it.
that.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Uh, you know.
Oh, nice.
So
that's
Um,
cool.
Before Ben, can I just jump in quickly? Do you of all the ones that you've done in this series, is there a favorite if you had to choose one, or do you love them all equally?
oh my God. Obviously I love Child's Play. I love The Black
Mhm.
Swan. There's one that doesn't get that much hype, and it's
There it is.
Victor Frankenstein. For some reason, when I did that one, I had so much fun
Yeah.
just with the composition and kind of like the clouds and you know the
Is that
monster floating with
young? Oh yeah,
chains.
Victor Frankenstein right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's cool. And
that one I really got.
Poltergeist,
Yeah,
Wrong
it was really
Turn. I love all these.
towards the latter half of the project. They were like, "Hey, can we kind of pull away from the Dia de los Muertos and just you know entertain everybody with the
That's
art?"
young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein. The one below it is the Victor Frankenstein. Believe it or not.
Oh yes, that's what I meant to show. There it is.
Yeah, that one I had a lot of fun. But
That's
they
awesome.
were all great. They were all great, and then from there, um, I I just
Jennifer's
kept on
Body.
playing.
Yeah, cool. All right, Ben, I'll let you. I'll stop talking.
Um, I'd like obviously where you've done these covers, they're all a face of a certain character.
Yeah.
Do you do you always start off by doing the face, or is there a certain maybe a scene or uh well, say a scene or a pose where they are, and you think actually that would be a cool idea, or do you just stick to the face on picture?
That's interesting. I love doing portraits and I love mixing them up. I mean, when you're doing kind of Day of the Dead, Sugar Skull kind of inspired artwork, it's always a portrait and the placement of certain elements on the face have
Hmm.
certain significance. Anything over the brow and into the head is take it into character that it's something that the character really thinks heavily about, you know.
Yeah.
Anything by the mouths, it's like what they represent themselves by speech or their attitude. But when it comes to Steelbooks, I love really bringing in a mishmash of like a portrait and action scenes. And when I was playing with Lionsgate, um, early on when John Wick 4 was being announced, and then it got delayed, and that got delayed, and got delayed. I was one of the artists that worked on it from the get-go before the movie got
Okay.
canceled and before we went into COVID. So I was on it for like almost 2 years with the studio, sending in
Wow.
concepts for posters and concepts for just visibility. And then at the very end, they're like, you know what would be awesome if we just got one of your cool portraits, and somehow you did the whole Baba Yaga transformation. And I was like, okay, let's play with that. So, but at times when it comes to steelbooks, I love doing kind of a reveal, that you need to spread the whole thing open to really
Yeah.
capture the whole breadth of what's going on. So it could be a
Here's
mixture
an
of things,
example.
oppose,
This one.
but most of the time I get kind of like, the creative directors or the producers are like, hey, can we get one of your portraits? And I don't mind, the Terminator 2 that I did with Lionsgate, and Tracy Ching had done the slipcover. She also did the interior work. They were like,
Yeah.
Lionsgate was like, hey, let's do a combination of two artists and see how that works out. And I was like, yeah, fine. Tracy Ching's a great friend of mine, talented vector artist. So I was like, cool. But again, when you reveal take off the slipcover, it's like, the T-800 face, and then like a whole scene of just a whole mess of
Yeah.
them just running around that scene where they're
Yes.
blasting pulse rifles through the playground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Do you,
exactly.
So,
Go ahead, man.
sorry. I was going to say, do you have not of your own artwork, but do you have a favorite poster of a movie that you think's, well, basically just your favorite?
oh, geez. There's so many out there.
There's so many.
Yeah, there's so many out there, man. I mean, I fall in love with
A good question. Yeah.
um, so many posters. I'm a really big fan of the pulp era of movie posters, right?
Okay. Yeah.
When they were just scantily kind of rough, and they had attitude to them, and nothing really seemed ultra perfect and ultra finely detailed. Like, I'm a really big fan of posters that have expression to them. When they're
Yeah.
too clinically sterile and they're all detailed to the finest degree, almost photographic, um, I, I'm still kind of like in wow with them, especially if they're done by an illustrator. I'm like, oh, that's great. But I'm a really big fan of like just seeing some energy, seeing some expression, seeing a brushstroke, seeing something wild, and something that allows the audience to go, let me fill in the gaps, because there's missing gaps. It's not completely finished. You know what I mean?
I suppose
So
you're
to answer
keeping
your question,
tabs
I
on.
have a hard time just answering your question right now, because
Right
it's
now,
just
that's
like,
cool.
holy shit, man,
That's
which
cool.
which one do I go to and not disrespect any? You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Man, I
Um,
don't know. I don't know.
you can,
Nah.
well,
Go
if one
ahead.
comes to you, we can come
I'll come
back to
back
it.
to it.
Come back to it, sure.
I'll come back to
And
it.
I do want to point out some of your steelbooks that you mentioned, because like Carrie, this one, another one from
Oh
Scream
wow.
Factory, Ben. I know you can't get Scream
Yeah.
Factory over there. I usually send Ben copies of Scream Factory issues. But then you open it up and you look at like the back has the prom scene.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And then let me show you one more. Killer Clowns. I love this one because you got the clown on the front with the pods, and then you open it up and you see the whole scene. So cool.
One thing that I
Oh,
love collaborating
okay, I've got one more.
with Shout and Scream Factory. Oh yeah.
That's
That's
cool, man.
fantastic.
Thanks.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love teaming up with Shout Scream Factory.
Mhm.
Because they're just so easy to play with. They're so easy to play with. Out of all the people that I get to collaborate, they're just like, hey, we got another title. You want to play? And I'm like, yes, what is it? And then they'll go, here's a title. whether it's Pumpkinhead or Killer Clowns. Killer Clowns was really cool because from the
Mm.
get-go, we were both on the Zoom call, and I said, "Hey, you know what? I did a previous Killer Clowns for my, Dia de los Muertos takeover," and they're like, "Yeah, we
It's
saw
one of
that.
it's one of the few I
We
have.
saw
Yeah.
that." So I was like, "Wow,
Hmm.
I can't believe that I'm getting a chance to redo the same title, but in a different way, officially."
Right.
Carrie was the other one. It's almost
The
like
same thing
if
with
you needed to
Carrie. Yeah.
pose a trivia question, it's like, how many artists have given the opportunity to do the same movie, but give it a different visual spin on it.
Yeah.
Me, I've got
Constantly
Carrie
show
and
them
I've
back
got
to back.
Killer Clowns. Yeah.
Mhm.
So this time we were like, you know what? Killer Clowns is always shown up in space. There's always a space element. There's always, you know,
Mm.
I was like, I'd love to try to walk away from that and give the audience, the collectors, something a bit heavier. And they're
Yeah.
like what? And I was like, maybe they could be like all huddled around. And they're like, oh, make them huddled around like by the cotton candy cocoons. And I was like, oh, that's it. Let's do it. I was like, that's totally it. Uh, so I love when that synergy happens when you're collaborating with people that
Mm.
understand the subject matter just as well as any collector out there, and understands
Yeah,
that,
for
yeah,
sure.
maybe a few things might be too iconic, too repetitious, too much of the norm, and maybe let's walk away from that and bring some additional visual equity to the theme.
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
I really do.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, we're fans too.
Is
Um, Go ahead, man.
I was going to ask. Obviously, you're saying you had a list of movies that you've done the art for that didn't get shown
Hmm.
or or used. Is there any films that you've chose to do some art for that you wasn't asked, and you just thought I'd love to draw a poster for that? Um, and could you tell us what any
Yeah,
of
like
them
some
were? I mean,
fan work. Yeah.
I think you
Oh
could just.
yeah, no, I mean that's back when I had done that whole Iron Man trip. That I was just like everybody else, playing around with the whole fan art scene and building up kind of posters and tributes that I would go, oh man, here's one, here's another. Um, Everything from Blade Runner to a handful of horror movies to um, a few kung fu movies. I think last week I just did a Venom piece. Right, I was invited to actually play on the new Venom with Sony and had submitted a whole bunch
Oh,
of poster concepts in line with the movie theaters that they're in association with, whether it's
Mm.
um, IMAX or whether it's 4DX or whether it's, ScreenX, they wanted to go in a different direction. But at the end of that, I was like, all right, now I've got some time to really just put in more than just a half hour in each of these concepts. And I had done a Venom piece that's typical of like one of my dynamic portraits. But I think some of the few that I really enjoyed that ended up becoming official were kind of the Dia de los Muertos Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy, where I did
Mm. Oh,
both Star-Lord and Gamora.
oh,
And
nice.
that was cool because I had to actually fly over to Burbank during the press release for the DVD, and
mm.
James Gunn was there. And I sat in the audience and I kind of hid myself so he wouldn't recognize me because I made it to Troma when he was exiting out of Troma, but he would come back to say hi to Lloyd and the troops, and every now and then he would take a handful of us and go have a few beers and a bite to eat. So I was there, and then I was like, showed myself, and he was like, "Oh shit, come on over here." He was like, "What the hell? What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm the guy who did this artwork for you." And he was like, "I didn't even put it
Oh,
together."
that's cool.
So it was great to meet up with him again.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
But I'm a big
Yeah.
fan. Right now. It's like when you understand kind of like there's like a little calculated ingredient list of when you're playing with certain movie studios or distributors that I'm always a fan. I think that I'm a fan. I'm always creating fan art. It's just taking it the extra step, doing the research and the homework, and following the footsteps of who's the creative director at this studio, who's the producer for this studio, who's the distributor here, and then sending them an email going, hey, nudge, nudge, here's some concepts I've done across the board for some of your films. Let me know if you might want to purchase any of these. So I'm turning an actual kind of passion as a fan and just stepping over the line and going, I know where to send these to see if they want to buy them. And sometimes they'll buy them, and sometimes they'll go, wow, these are great.
Right?
We don't,
Yeah.
we just released a bunch of these, but would you be interested in collaborating on a different title? And I'm
I'd
like,
buy a
great.
Jaws edition.
What's up?
I'd buy a
What
Jaws
happened?
edition.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
Jaws is one of my
Jaws.
favorite movies, man. Jaws, seriously, I would flip out. I think I did a fan art piece for Jaws a while ago. All right. And I had so much fun. It's exploring how I could do something that's representational of an iconic of, the traditional poster. And it was great. I mean, man, I used to watch Jaws every year with my dad for opening fishing season. We were
Oh,
just
nice.
twisted. We were like, all right, we're gonna be out there. Let's watch our favorite movie. And I ended up getting,
Makes
a
sense.
great white shark
Oh,
on there,
wow, that's so cool.
you know.
Nice. Nice.
I was gonna get that whole, here's to swimming with bow-legged women, tattooed somewhere, but
Yeah.
I didn't want that to haunt me, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that might come back. That might come back. Haunt you indeed. Well, it's Ben's favorite movie too, so you're in good company.
Oh my
Um,
God, there's no other movie that could strike fear in so many people globally. I
I know
love
what
it.
Definitely.
you're going to choose later on when we ask you one other question. Well, we do have some this or that questions for you, but before we do
Yeah.
that, can you talk a little bit about some of your new projects coming out, without getting in trouble? I know, why don't we kick it off? I know you did the Drag Me to Hell exclusive Walmart artwork
Oh
that
yeah,
we
that's
had
the latest. And
here.
there you go. That's the
That's
full exterior. Yeah.
fantastic. I love it. I'll definitely get a copy. Get that. Um, I mean, so are there other new
Yeah,
editions
I
coming
mean,
out that you can share?
oh, can I share? Can I mention anything?
We can
Well, you
always
know that
bleep it out
no,
afterward.
no, 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 no. I'm always careful because they're just like, hey, some of them are a bit more lax
Mm,
about it than others. You know, when it comes to Steelbooks, I've been fortunate enough to be talking to a bunch of other distributors and new studios that are popping up more within the independent line. I'm trying
mm,
to say, listen, I would love to team up with some independent directors and producers and see whether we could play, and just have a good time.
yeah,
So you might see a bunch of independent horror on physical media on steelbook format very shortly. Um, as far as
very
like
cool.
Scream Factory, I think we've got about. I know that I've handed in, other than Drag Me to Hell, there's been at least 5 on the docket. Half of them already been delivered.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I can't tell you any titles though. And some of them aren't, and some of them aren't even horror movies, honestly. Like there's a few comedies in there that I was
Okay.
just like, hey, I want to do it, I'm ready to play with that title. And they're like, oh, you don't mind getting out of the horror genre? I was like, no, I want to get into like this sci-fi horror, sci-fi genre
Sci-fi,
comedy. I
yes.
was like, I just enjoy films.
Are there genres that you haven't done that you'd like to try? Like, I don't know, a rom-com, a
Oh,
musical?
well, I wouldn't mind. No, I did a musical with Fox and not Fox, 20th Studios, excuse me. 20th Studios and Spielberg for the West Side Story that they redid a
Oh
few.
yeah.
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
the
I remember that
cover art
artwork.
for the I did the cover art for the exclusive Target release.
Cool.
Okay.
Yep. Hunt that down. I
I
did
would
that
I
one.
would love for you to do that if they did like a steelbook of Anna and the Apocalypse. I bet you could do a really
Oh,
fantastic with
oh,
zombies, and I don't know if you
oh,
like that movie, but
Jesus.
that would be
Um,
cool.
yeah, I mean, I'm so down to play across any genre, honestly.
Mm, mm.
I could get nasty. I could get totally nasty and just have fun. But right now I'm trying to play around with that pursuit of other things that are kind of tied to Hollywood, but yet they're in
Mm,
a different physical format, you know, whether it's toy
sure.
packaging, whether it's games, board games. Like, I just want to branch out and keep on playing around with different formats and having fun. Something that I did last year that was very interesting was being invited to totally do do this crazy thing, right?
That's
Yes,
cool.
I just ordered a
You know,
copy of it. Yeah, I forgot to ask
it's
about
the
that.
original 1978 novel. A lot of
Can
people
you
don't know
show?
that
So you did the
Halloween was a
cover.
novel. Yeah,
Can you show some
did
of the
two
inside,
covers,
some of the
right?
illustrations? Yeah, I missed out on the first one, the one on the right. That one sold out. I did order a
Yeah,
copy
no,
of
this
that
one
one in
sold
your
out.
hand.
It's still available, but it's a hefty bundle. It comes with like
Oh, it's yeah, it's three
my
hundred
my
dollars.
signing. Yeah, it comes with like an original hand drawn
Yes, I
five
saw
by
that. Yep.
seven. But
Limited
it's a hundred
250
and
copies. Yeah, I think it was
it's
three hundred dollars.
over 100 vector illustrations, right?
That's
Over
amazing.
100 vector illustrations,
Nice.
right?
I can't wait to get my
Things
copy.
like that.
Um, a friend of mine, actually, Fake Voorhees, has a copy of the first edition that you showed. And I asked him if he would lend it to me for this video. And he conveniently forgot it. And I said, I guess I understand. It's a limited edition and hard to find now.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I try to stay away from like sequential art, you know,
Yeah, of course. Oh, that's so
but
cool.
but but I
Congratulations on that
just
project.
oh man,
What is
thanks.
it? Printed in Blood. I think you partnered with to publish that.
Yeah,
Um,
printed in blood
so
with
cool.
Compass International, the original guys,
Damn, look at that.
right?
Yes, mate.
So I know, Ben, you're thinking, are you going to do a Jaws novelization
That would be
illustration?
really cool.
I'll be freaking down to do that, man. Seriously. I mean, you put up the hoops and I'll
Hmm.
go jump through them like a freaking
And
Mexican
also
tiger.
with the art style that you've done there, my
Yeah.
favourite book is uh War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome to do.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
You need to get that there.
Holy
That would be
crap.
amazing as well.
You
Hmm.
know, that's doable. That's very doable. I am working on one new book with Printed in Blood, and I can't tell you anything more. It's just holy shit, I can't believe that I'm doing this title. You know,
Oh, man.
it's one of the biggies. It's one of the biggies within
Oh,
the movie genre. And I can't
I
believe I'm
love
going
it.
to have my name right next to this incredible story. So
Well,
yeah,
you'll have
keep an
to,
eye out for it. You know,
yeah,
Oh,
keep us updated on that. We'd love to have you back on again. And what would be really cool, so we've done a lot of interviews with directors, actors, writers. If there's a project you work on and we have others on, it would be fantastic to have you on with like an
oh
ensemble
man, yeah.
guest lineup.
Let me know.
Um, let's talk. Let's see. Let's go right into this or that, though. These are kind of fun. I'll kick it off.
This or that. Here we
You
go.
just
Cue
pick
the
one or the
music.
other, and some of these I think will make you laugh. Carrie
All
or
right.
Jennifer's Body.
Oh, snap. Oh, Jesus. I'll go with I'll go with Carrie. I'll go with Jennifer's Body. My wife is gonna smack me in the head, you know.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Ghost Story or Slasher?
Excuse me?
Ghost Story or Slasher?
Oh, I'm gonna go with Slasher.
Mhm. Marvel or DC?
Jesus.
Maybe.
I'll go Marvel. No, I'll go Marvel. I'll go
Okay,
Marvel.
okay. All right.
I can't lie. I'll go Marvel,
Okay,
you know.
good.
Jason or Freddy?
Jason or Freddy. Damn it. Jeez. Uh I'll go with Freddy, believe it or not. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm so
Oh,
sorry, you
yes.
know.
Oh my God. And
I'm
look, I'm wearing
sorry,
a
but you know,
Friday the 13th
yeah,
shirt too.
yeah, no, I'll go with Freddie just because he's got a voice, he's got more charisma, funnier.
True, more personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wrong Turn or The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah.
So fun. So freaky. So freaky.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And the remake too is really good.
Oh, jeez.
Where am I?
Go ahead, Ben.
John Carpenter or Wes Craven?
Carpenter.
Yeah.
Carpenter. In so many ways. Carpenter.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
Let's see. Yeah, me too. Found footage or a thriller?
Uh, Thriller. I'll go thriller.
Cool. 28 Days Later or Return of the Living Dead?
Ah, Jesus. I gotta go Return of the Living Dead, man. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
go with that.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
me too. Let's see. Tigers Are Not Afraid or The Devil's Backbone?
Devil's Backbone.
Yeah, I love that one. And then Ben, I'll let you take the last one.
Not seen
Dum
it.
dum dum.
Halloween 78 or Jaws?
Jaws for the win, baby.
Of
Jaws.
course, of course.
All the way.
Okay. Aaron usually blames my posters
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
mean,
in
I
the
have my
back.
little shrine to Michael Myers behind me, but you win.
There you
win.
go.
We've had a few pick Halloween, though. Caroline Williams from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 picked Halloween.
Hey, well, you know what? We'll hunt her down at the next time she goes vacationing at any beach resort. It's okay.
And yeah, see, don't go in the water. Yes. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
exactly.
Orlando, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with us. Please keep us
Hey.
updated on your new projects, new releases. If there's anything we can do to promote, we will gladly do so.
I appreciate that so much. You guys do a great job supporting the physical. I'm dying on here with
Physical
the
media.
head cold and chest congestion. Thank you so much for supporting physical media. Seriously, I mean, it's a format that I hope will always be around for the masses and for the audiences and for the future generations. And I'm so happy to see folks like you really giving it your all to keep it alive. So thank you so much. Honestly.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. We are fans. Lastly, Ben, before you do the closeout, how can folks find you on social media?
Very easy. You can hunt me down on Instagram. I go by the name of Mexifunk. I've been kind of dialing back all the other instances, whether it's Twitter or Facebook. I just feel so comfortable with my audience up on Instagram that, I don't need to go too crazy and sacrifice all my day to put up content. So yeah, you can hunt me down on Instagram.
Awesome.
Wicked.
All right. Well, thank you. Ben, I'll let you do the closing.
Orlando, thank you for coming on. Top man, and I wish you the best with future projects, and your art is amazing. Where am I? Oh yeah, from over there, A&B Horror Movies. If you watched this video, thank you. Hit the like and subscribe to our channel, and again, thanks for watching. Orlando, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Awesome. Bye, everyone.